Right now, I don't have a way to deal with the supernova, which is the one thing I'm looking at. Snapfire is really standing out to me at the moment. I'm trying to think of some other. I mean, Mirana and Lena are already taken out of the pool, so I'm trying to think of some other heroes. They go for the Chaos Knight.
Okay.
So some flexibility. We see him kind of attempted to be run as a 3, sometimes picked up in that 1 role as well. What's your overall opinion right now with Chaos Knight? We don't see it too much.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, I suppose TNC are kind of single
5
target
seconds
heavy
remaining.
right now. Like, Slider is really the only big damage dealer for the super early game. When it gets late game, Phoenix is amazing, but not too much to be able to deal with all of these illusions. And again, it just gives T1 so much more objective taking potential once they win a team fight, and they've got good
Dire
pick off as
team
well.
pick.
You know, a Reality Rift into a stun on a Mirana or a Phoenix, they're dead, or they have to pop a crappy supernova, which you never want to do. But yeah, pretty solid team fight coming out right now from TNC. Couple of stuns. Spectre doesn't really care about it. All of that damage coming
10
through from the
seconds
Leshrac
remaining.
is just going to get dispersed back to the rest of the team, so I don't mind
5
it.
seconds remaining.
Yeah,
One of
I
the
like
best
the
chooses too.
I like the Spectre getting picked up as well because it gives you you're kind of this natural blade mail builder that we've been seeing, and not only with the dispersion of the blade mail, it really makes it difficult for the Leshrac to actually kind of chase him down throughout the fight. And you take a look at their overall team fight. I mean, it's not a hero that directly deals with the Chaos Knight illusions, which I think they need to go for in this last pick. Something like a Zeus, potentially some form of constant AoE damage to deal with the Phantasm, which is something they're lacking. But what are T1? Are you anticipating this to be their position 4 here?
That they're going to pick up next.
Yeah.
I mean, Zephyr could still play the Lash.
Dire
You know,
team
there's nothing
back.
to say that he couldn't. Terrorblade. I feel like they're trying to bait this Zeus pick out, man, and I don't like the Zeus pick all that much, just because, yes, it's fantastic, of course, at dealing with the Chaos Knight and the Terrorblade, but you're so squishy, and
10 seconds
if they
remaining.
do get onto the backlines,
TNC
there's very little
Predators
damage
turn
coming
to
through for
ban.
you in the first 25 minutes or so, and I feel like TNC can just take the game and run away with it if that's the case. I was thinking maybe something more along the lines of an Ember or a Storm or a Void Spirit, one of the 3 brothers. Maybe even the Earth Spirit, to be honest.
10
Just something
seconds
that's able
remaining.
to easily get away from all of these stuns, because
5
the
seconds
Chaos Bolt
remaining.
travels pretty slowly. Split Earth, you know that it's coming. It's probably the biggest windup in the entire game. So if you could dodge that out, then suddenly there's no way to catch you. But then it just comes back to your point where it's kind of hard to deal with the CK illusions and now the TB illusions on top of that. So what's the best hero that can do that? I would probably say Ember Spirit, going into like a Maelstrom build, perhaps.
And this is probably the Chaos Knight picking up the Aghanims that are relatively early timing as well. So now you're going to have even
Dire
more
team
illusions to
back.
have to deal with.
Yeah.
And they do,
So-
so there's that Snapfire ban, something I brought up earlier to kind of help deal with the Phoenix. So they do have the Terrorblade at least at the moment.
Are they just trying to crash someone's computer that's too crappy to deal with all these illusions? Is that what the plan is right now?
10
Sounds like a lot of
seconds
fun.
remaining.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Mass drop the FPS.
5 seconds
Maybe try and win a
remaining.
team fight in that regard.
You've got the Spectre as well, so illusions on both ends. We just need a Darkseer now. Illusions on illusions.
What are they looking for T1? Is this more than likely? That's the thing. They got the flexibility on the Leshrac to be able to play it as a 4 or a 2. So you can either give it to Zephyr, you can either give it to Carl in that mid lane.
TNC Predators turn to ban.
Hmm.
Dire team pick.
Well, they don't have last pick overall, so that's something that they're going to be considering, right? You can't have this gotcha style pick on T1. Ideally, they still want it to be up in the air as to who they're going to have. Is it Leshrac or is it whoever they're going to pick next?
TNC Predators turn
Puck. I mean, sure. Carl played a fantastic Puck last time. It doesn't reveal exactly what the laning setup is going to be, but I feel like dealing with Leshrac and Puck is kind of a similar beast, at least in the laning stage, and they
You
are
may
going
now
for the
select
Zeus,
your
so
heroes.
I think, yeah, this is the game of if Zeus dies constantly, T1 wins. If he's able to sit back and cast spells, TNC win. It's as simple as that.
Do Dire have a lineup to be able to get on top of the Zeus though? I guess Puck Coil, one of the best ways to be able to deal with someone who's very reliant on your positioning. but can the Chaos Knight, the Leshrac, the TB be able to follow up with that damage through the core court?
Um, I'm kind of curious to see who's playing what here, because if they want to run a 4-puck, then they can do it as more of this suicidal thing of, look, just get in onto the Zeus and deal with him that way, and it is a 4-puck. But then once you do, you're basically dead, right? But if you're taking out the position 2 for a position 4, you're perfectly happy with that. But if they wanted to go the other way and have like a puck 2, then you have that survivability, but it runs the risk as well, right? Of if you die, then suddenly you're without your mid laner. So I think I prefer this way of going about things for T1. The fact that it's Zephyr, he's going to play the sacrificial lamb, and he's been playing pretty damn well. So it wouldn't even surprise me if he doesn't die with those super deep engagements. So we will see.
Yeah, well, I mean, Cole had a incredibly strong game on the puck last, so let's see if Zephyr's going to be able to kind of continue with that momentum at the moment. But with the draft all set, is there a team you're favoring heading into the second game?
I'm gonna say T. Oh no. I want to say T1 just because, like, I don't think this Phoenix can leave the lane, and I don't think Tims and KP are going to be able to get enough done on their own. They're going to need to commit quite heavily with the Haunt and the Thunder God's Wrath, because neither the Spectre or the Zeus are going to want to actually leave the lane. They want to get as much done while still farming as possible. Whereas with T1, Puck can roam at all stages. Leshrac is fine with roaming. You've also got, well, Undying probably a bit less so, but Chaos Knight perfectly happy to do it as well. So I'm going to go with T1 again. They've been impressing me all throughout. I think they can do it again.
Yeah, well, let's see if they can go undefeated through their first 2 series of the group stages so far, taking on TNC in the second game. It's going to be a tricky matchup for them. See, with the draft all set, it's going to be a little bit more of a team fight orientated lineup that we have at the moment from TNC, and I'm excited to see how Cuckoo is able to play on the Chaos Knight as a position 3, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's been played a lot as a 3 throughout the world, really.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even something exclusive to the Southeast Asian region. I know, I think it was Viking, playing it quite heavily. Over in the European region, China, they're always trying to innovate as much as possible, and yeah, Southeast Asia's picked it up too. So I think he's totally fine with it. It's just about getting those couple of early stats, securing your farm, making it so you don't have to go back to base all that much, and then, like you mentioned, picking up the Ag Scepter, making even more illusions to deal with.
See how the setup's going to go, and hopefully Qian's able to have a bit better of a time on this Spectre than the Anti-Mage last game. So a couple of the pickoffs really hinder the lane, but early on, I mean,
The battle begins.
is... Oh, actually, who's going to get the bounty? Looks like Cuckoo will. And Febby actually might be in trouble here, though. Already picked up the level on the Fire Spirits. At least the Dagger's going to give them some movement speed slow. Actually, no, they're not going to chase forward. They do have another Chaos Bite available and some of the decays to continue falling, but Zephyr wasn't there, so a little bit of harassment, I guess.
Okay, so Tims actually hasn't opted to go for the Boots of Speed here on the Mirana, and perhaps a little bit lucky for him that, sorry, for Whitemon, that he's opted to say, well, I'm not going to go for the Orb of Venom either. He's just got the Ring of Protection. He wants to brawl and stop KP as much as possible. Let's see if Tims is going to start to go here to try and pull the wave. No, they're happy to just try and bait out the Metamorphosis, it seems, on the top side.
Well, this is the thing with the Terrorblade as well, that you get a massive damage spike with that meta, and unfortunately, Undying, a hero that's not going to be able to provide you a slower stun. I guess the Tombstone, very minor reflection as well, but you know, it's really, really nice as a Terrorblade when you pop that Metamorphosis and then you're able to have some form of a kill threat with just the increased damage.
I'm just keen on seeing how this mid lane goes. I rate Armel as one of the best mids in the scene, but Carl, his rate of improvement has been fantastic in the past half a year or so.
Yeah, definitely starting to show his dominance on the mid lane and just continuing to get better and better as every game that he does end up playing. And you see kind of the little bit of the damage difference with the right clicks. But again, the thing about the Leshrac is that you've got such a good mana pool and your abilities. You know, the mana cost early is relatively low, so you can just utilize that to be able to secure your CS, which is always important.
Febby's doing a pretty good job here of making it Cheon that's getting the lion's share of the experience. Getting him stunned up though with moving in close. And has to be still a little careful here on Febby. He gets up onto his level 2 now, so he's got the dive for the escape potential. I think he just took a creep away from the Spectre though.
Still my CS, what the hell, Febby? What are you doing? Just pinging him, molded. Goddamn, 1 CS. That could be the difference here. As see, moment with the Orb of Venom on Cuckoo, just the slows coming out, and also with the follow-up stun, Spectre could be in trouble, and the Orb's going to be enough damage to secure first blood here. So T1, they hit once again early to be able to claim that. Spectre down. And this is kind of the thing. I mean, the Phoenix as a laning stage support through level 1 and level 2 is relatively weak. You get a very big spike once you get an extra point in the Fire Spirits. Just the damage per second, 15 to 35 is the big one. So
yep.
Once he's able to get that, it might be a little bit more different in how it's looking at the moment.
I mean, even just at level 1, it's honestly okay, but it's the fact that Fiery Spirits has a 51-second cooldown after that's used. So I really like the fact that Cuckoo and Zephyr immediately realized that it was all the spirits had been used, immediately make their move after that. And you mentioned the Orb of Venom, but also Zephyr, he's got the Blightstone, so any sort of aggression in these early couple of levels is going to be heavily punished.
We're going to try and see some rotations come through from the supports as well for the power, and Kyle's a little bit weak here. Does have the bottle coming out for him, so he's going to have some charges to be able to utilize it. Looks like Armel's just got one, and with some supports coming over. Febby from bot. Yeah, let's see if he can get there in time. Whitemon's already set up top, however. Are they going to get lucky? Well, there you go. 50-50 chance.
Yeah, relatively happy with that. I mean, Leshrac can always just run back to base quite quickly, but he's got the full bottle charges, so that'll be enough to get him through to the 5-minute bounty runes, and he'll be just fine.
You get nothing.
See, not much action so far throughout the laning stage, though. Both teams still just trying to get set up. We see, is this mainly just on potentially the rotations that come through eventually from someone like the Lesh, and then that level 6 on Armel as well, where we might see some more kills come out?
Potentially. I mean, I think this is a game where things will really start to ramp up as soon as he hits onto his level 6. And same with the Spectre, right? I don't think Mirana and Slardar can make any sort of movements happen before that time. We've got the bounties. Tims is going to be able to grab one of them. He's also stacked up this camp, so maybe expecting a move from the Zeus towards the top side quite soon, so that you know, you can maybe get a kill onto the TB, start to take the tower, and in the meantime farm it up. Maybe going down though.
He's going to end up falling here, and see they're continuing to try and look to pressure Cheon as well. They're going to have a Chaos Bolt up in a couple of seconds here. Zeus has still got that ultimate, so they're trying to man-fight on the Spectre, but it looks like Thunder God's Wrath, I mean, gets the kills, so Spectre will find a little bit of experience before he dies, but that's, you see the rough laning stage that he's having at the moment. He's 1-2, he's only got 17 last hits.
And that was Cuckoo not even using the Reality Rift. He just have enough mana, exactly 50 when he died, but he had the Mango as well available, so might have been able to get that kill before the Spectre goes down, but I think he'll be fine with just having the mana for any future engagements too.
At least this time Armel is going to be able to get the rune. Little Arcane might be able to farm up a stack at the medium, which does have, and see how this one's continuing on. I mean, it's been a pretty good start for Dire though. 3-1 in the kill count. See both all the cores farming pretty nicely, and the Terrorblade up top as well is something that we haven't really brought up yet. Just a hero that has incredibly high base armor and your agi gain, so you're naturally going to have a very good way to deal with the Slardar Corrosive Haze.
Yeah, but conversely, the reason why he needs to go for all of these high stat items, especially against something like a Zeus, is that you've got a pretty pathetic health pool. So something like a Zeus is just able to deal with you really effectively. Same thing with the Phoenix, if he's able to get in on top of him, or the Mirana if you get a lucky stun through.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, so, and I mean, they don't really have this defensive aspect. I mean, Soul Rip kind of, if that heal is going to be enough with everything in the area. So we'll see if he's able to get all the stat items fast enough to kind of tank up through the damage. And intrigued on even if we might see some kind of magic resistance come through on the Chaos Knight potentially, if he's just going to go for that Ags pretty early.
Oh, KP's scouting out for Whitemon here. He should be able to spot him out. Nope, the cover of Nighttime's enough to let him get away. Armel always going to find the Royal Jelly. Really nice for him.
Dire looking to pressure though. Cole's got 4 points up in the Edict. TNC, they don't want to allow this to happen
Armel's
though.
here.
He's level 8 as well, so the damage really starting to skyrocket here for the Zeus, and now with the slow just allows them to constantly chase him down. Armel needs one more Arc Lightning to claim it, and now he's going to look for more blood as well with Cuckoo trying to get in top of the river. But it looks like the Zeus right now is just dishing out the deeps. They even get the Haunt just for the vision. Xian's going to be able to claim that one. Now get the vision on top of Zephyr as well with the puck. Orb is unfortunately on cooldown. He can pop the one for the Waning Rift, but they're going to have the vision thanks to the dagger, and Armel will come over. Very nice tower defense from TNC as they find 3, and meanwhile across the map, Tim's just soaking up some experience, and top KP doing whatever he wants right now on the lane.
Yeah, the fact that KP was able to not even join that team fight and you still get a victory is huge. You know, he's hit onto his level 6. It felt like he didn't have the impact that he was quite used to on the Bloodseeker last time around, but he's having a much easier game this time. Zephyr's here though, just to keep that lane pushed out. They want to avoid losing as many towers as possible. Just keep safe spaces for Jackie to continue to farm.
This is the nice thing about the Terrorblade. You can fall back, farm the jungle, and you've got a support who's very strong at being able to play the dead lane, just shove it out with ease and not really have too much worry. I mean, the Corrosive Haze is going to make it a little bit awkward because they can just always find him in the tree line. But that is the power, at least, you know, the puck support is going to get a decent amount considering, you know, we see right now supports the emphasis on making sure you have some form of wave clear.
Oh no. Tims, what a player. They, oh, that's not blocking it, is it? Okay, good. So Tims just went on a bit of a warding mission. So he body blocked the top camp. He put the Observer Ward down next to it, and then he puts a Sentry Ward on the Ancient stack, so that there's nothing that they can farm on the TB for the next minute.
And you see they haven't even started to try and consider making stacks as well at the moment for him. So, I mean, taking a look at the levels though, Phoenix 4 at the moment, trying to get closer and closer towards the 6. They'll have the Tome coming up pretty shortly as well. So, trying to hit TNC on this kind of level 6 timing, along with Spectre having the Haunt available pretty soon, but let's see, they need to make some stacks themselves as well, but it looks like Dire, they've already blocked this camp with a Sentry, so well aware, kind of both teams recognizing that the position 1 wants to be farming stacks around the Ancients.
Speaking of Ancient farming, you've got Chuyan who's picked up the Blade Mail, so not quite yet, but speaking of as well, the Sentry Wards, there's one popped down in the Radiant Tri-Camp as well, so no Ancients is the name of the game for both of these teams.
Cuckoo is getting chased down here. He's got no help coming through at the moment. The 3-man stun's going to hold them back, but they got the Thunder Gods to claim that. Meanwhile, up top though, KP4s, I mean, Zephyr just drops the coil. Carl comes over with all the AoE damage, and they just bring down the Slaughter. And this is, again, I mean, you just have the Puck who's able to play this lane so safely, and he's just getting gold and experience that no one really wants to claim. So this is going to allow Zephyr to be able to get some pretty decent item timings, and I mean, he's 4-1-1, or 4-1-0, I should say.
And this is the sort of thing as well that I was mentioning with the Puck playing the pos 4. You know, you're able to play that suicidal role. If you die, it's not quite as big of a deal, but now he's even going to have a decent amount of fun.
Oh my god, I've been so impressed with how he's been performing. He might still get stunned up, although the arrow's going to miss here. KP chasing him down. DP rotations coming through from the Puck. Zephyr coil still on cooldown at the moment. Man, the Slaughter TP'd in, started to Guardian Sprint, run him down, and then that timing with the Horn, as soon as he jaunted in, just found that 2-man stun, and Carl just scurries himself away.
Doing a great job. KP uses the benefit of the Guardian Sprint in the river just to move back out to the top side. They want to take away this top tier 1 tower as quickly as they can. Man, have a look at all of the sentry wards placed by the Dire in the tri-camp area.
Dire's
They are
top
just
tower
like,
is
please
under
let us
attack.
farm.
Yeah, so much emphasis on just enabling Jack at the moment, who is farming very nicely. It looks like he's actually going to be going into the Hood, I believe, after the Yasha.
Dire are scanning.
Interesting choice.
Radiant's middle tower
I mean,
is
sure,
under
it
attack.
makes him a lot more
Dire's
tanky against
top
this heavy
tower
magic
is under
burst, but
attack.
doesn't provide that pure HP that I feel he needs.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
And what is the just 8.5 HP regen, 25%
middle
magic
tower is
resistance is
under
the
attack.
passive? So, I mean, we'll see. Jackie's going to have to try and build, yes, I mean, the stats afterwards, exactly like you said. I mean, it's still just going to be incredibly squishy, and
Radiant's bottom
yeah,
tower
they'll
is
be able to
under
go
attack.
through that Hood protection very easily.
Radiant are scanning.
We've got another pretty passive game at the moment. I mean, 9 kills, 13 minutes in. Is this favoring a particular team at the moment through TNC or T1?
It depends on who's getting the farm on these teams, right? Like I mentioned before with Zephyr, if he's able to jump in and die, but still get his job done in killing the Zeus,
Radiant's middle
then,
tower
you know,
is under
that's
attack.
success for him. The fact that he's doing, he's actually getting a lot of farm in this position 4 role means that I'm feeling quite strong about T1, but yeah, I'm not quite sure about this Hood of Defiance build on Jackie. I feel like he just needs to be putting a lot more pressure on as well as surviving, and I feel like Hood is only doing one of those things.
Meanwhile, you try and take a look at the Radiant heroes. They did counter block, or early, I should say, D-ward the Ancients there. So Qian's going to be able to farm up around the triangle with this good old blade mail, maxed out dispersion. It gives you a way. Now you turn yourself into an Ancient Cling hero, and you just see the farm really start to skyrocket. This is trying to keep up because he didn't have the strongest laning stage, and you see, I mean, TNC, they feel, it looks like they're okay with this though, knowing that the Zeus is going to be able to deal with the Terrorblade, you know, Armel working towards the Aghanim, Spectre trying to find the items as well. Baby's a very low level, only level 6 at the moment here for the Phoenix, but they do have the Blink down picked up for KP, so this is going to give them a much easier way to be able to initiate.
Got that supernova ready. He's even got the infused raindrops, which is going to be nice. You know, you don't want to be caught in the worst position, quickly losing your HP before you're popping that supernova. So it can literally be the difference with a second before you're able to get a decent Icarus dive off to a safer position. But, man, that looks so stupid with the pumpkin head.
Jackie could be in trouble here. They're going to reveal the Blink 4. They even drop the Supernova as well. He's got the Thunder going to try and turn with the Bat and the Lightning Bolt at the perfect timing to stop that one. And this is right by the bounty. Meanwhile, Tim's up top though. They're going to try and cut him off, Whitemon. Doesn't have any detection, unfortunately. And meanwhile, actually, the Ancients, they're going to be able to find Karlk here. So actually 2 cores from tier 1 dying. And meanwhile, Tim's, he's still alive at the moment. He's going to try and TP out. Cuckoo, where is the damage? There we go. Zephyr with the AoE. But, I mean, meanwhile, guess what happens? They kill off the Lesh, you kill off the Terrorblade. Xian's now taking some Ancients away from you. Very nicely done.
What just happened there with Karl? So he used himself right on the top of the staircase, and then it felt like he couldn't run away or something like that. I don't know what happened. So, sorry, he used the Slardar, and then he couldn't run through him because he was like dead in the center and there was just no path. It's crazy. I've never seen that. Just a complete block off by one hero.
Mid lane though, Tombstone dropped to deal with the trees straight on top of the Zeus. Armel's going to get brought down here. And you just see Dire recognizing that Radiant just used pretty much everything. I mean, Haunt down, Thunder Gods down, Supernova down as well. So like, all right, we got meta, time to go. Let's take the tier 1 tower. We feel pretty strong at the moment. And you know, they just catch out the Zeus, and now they might be able to find another hero as well. Yule sets up for that stun. They got the follow up in the Waning Rift just in case there's any dive. And now, I mean, they get 2 pickoffs back. Their favor from Dire.
I was thinking maybe they might have considered doing the Roshan with the remainder of that metamorphosis, but it looks like the tier 1 tower top is going to be just as fine for them. It allows them to get a couple of waves of farm as well.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Dire doing a very good job at being able to pressure the timings on the cooldowns at the moment. Really see that Radiant kind of getting run across the map and not feeling as strong as being able to contest them. I mean, we see Armel, he's almost got the Aghanim, so getting closer and closer towards that. He's keeping up in the farm. We even see the Spectre. You know, they haven't caught out Qian for a while here, so we're seeing this gold really start to accumulate for the position 1 on TNC.
Almost having the Manta though on the Terrorblade, so that's going to be quite nice. Being able to get out all of these slows coming through from the Phoenix. You're going to be able to get rid of the Corrosive Haze as well, and just some extra stats is always nice.
Pick off mid on the Undying is going to enable them to be able to take the tier 1 tower here, so it's going to give them a lot more map control, and now really enables the Roshan capability though with the Slardar. You know, we're probably going to see a big fight break out around there, especially with the Manta almost getting picked up, which is always, you know, it's a funny thing now that Spectre is so incredibly strong with being able to take Manta with how the Desolate changed with Roshan. So, you know, already have, you know, the Corrosive Haze almost level 12 at mid lane. There we go. Carl could be in trouble here. He eats the arrow. The creeps actually didn't tank it up there.
You make a fine crater.
Nicely done again by TNC. Even if they weren't able to get that last little bit, they had the Zeus, who Thunder God's Wrath just came up for him as well, so he was dead regardless, and only 250 gold away, speaking of that Zeus, from his Ag Scepter, so nice healthy timing coming through from him, and yeah, probably just going to do the normal thing, opt into the 25 movement speed.
They want to take the fight. Haunt, KP, blink forward. They're going to be able to bring down Cuckoo. It's a decent tombstone, but look at the damage coming out. They haven't got on top of the Zeus, so Armel, with all the magical forcing them back. Whitemon's going to try and retreat away, but meanwhile Puck still going to end up falling, and it looks like Whitemon's going to join him as well. 3 down from T1, and that ward from TNC on the high ground. You see just the Siren would jump from the Slardar and the Spectre there. Very nice fight.
Yeah, so remind me, when was the ult? They found Carl again. Oh no, he just TP'd back
get
out.
Dropped here with that ultimate now revealed thanks to the Aghanims, and now he's in trouble. Just TP'd there. 2 deaths in a row now, and TNC, they've just been able to find a immense amount of important pick-offs so far through this game, and now this is going to allow them to walk and claim Roche.
When was the time that Armel died? Can you remind me of that?
When?
Did they dive in mid? Is that what happened, like with the T1 tower went down?
I'm trying to remember. When did he die?
I feel like that might have been it.
Yeah,
Anyway.
actually, yeah, the T1 tower, when they dropped the tombstone when Dai took the objective.
So, it just feels like what we were thinking before, where it's like, well, if Armel could just sit back and cast spells like he did in that previous couple of fights, really, they're just going to win, because there's no way to deal with this effect that he's having on illusions right now. KP might be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, they deal with the ward on the high ground. Now they're going to try and turn with the tombstone coil dropped as well. Slardar will fall, Febby. Try and dive away. I mean, they got the coil if... Sorry, they got the supernova. They continue to chase, and they're not going to do so, though. So just unfortunately, KP getting a little bit too over-aggressive. But meanwhile, top, though, Carl might get picked off once again. He's in trouble here.
Oh, no.
He doesn't have any help in the last track. Uses the Yules aggressively. Where's the extra heroes coming through? Armel, can he get in range for the bolt? He can, and Carl is ultra dead here. It's just going to be an extra death. I mean, that is now 3 in a row that we're seeing this Leshrac. Whose Implore is that? Is that Dyer's? Oh, it's Dyer's. Oh, no. They lost their Imclaw.
Not the claw.
Not the claw.
Yeah. It's always the worst thing to have a look at the neutral item stash, and you know you've got an item that's dropped for you and it says unknown. It's like, oh,
like, hello team, where is this neutral item? So nice, Zephyr, they catch him out. Oh, just the draw at the last second, but it's not going to matter because they got the follow up with the vision. They've dropped the Nimbus. Thunder God's Wrath as well. Now down to the southern side, Cuckoo trying to find Tim's, but the Undying unable to really give them further control here. And meanwhile, they're gonna have to try and defend top, but Carl. Again, is this where he wants to be? Because Radiant, they're beelining it instantly to the Leshrac, and here comes this speedy Slardar. Do they want to jump him, even walking up the high ground, though? Gonna try and do so. Instantly with the Haunt as well, straight on top of the Leshrac. He's able to keep his life thanks to Cuckoo. Now with the high ground jacket, they're gonna try and look to turn. He's got the Metamorphosis as a decent supernova away from the western side here. They're gonna be careful how far they push out of the base. Now with the cold drop, Zephyr finds 2. They still have the Aegis to be able to utilize here. Cuckoo's gonna be able to drag back 1. Mel doesn't have too much mana to be able to continue with the fight as well. KP is going to be able to bring down the back, but he's still got to be careful as well. As Jackie with the Metamorphosis trying to look to turn the Sunder. Xian needs the TP out. They got the damage coming out. Now with the dive away, Febby, can he retreat with the Sunray up in the high ground? It looks like he can, but they just punished his over-aggressive dive from TNC there.
And that's the thing as well. Like, honestly, I don't even feel like that was an over-aggressive dive. I just think they weren't all on the same page, because when KP, you know, did that huge run, he blinks in, he stuns, but he doesn't use the corrosive haze onto him. And so when the Spectre fully commits to try and take him out, he ends up getting away on about 200 HP instead. Like, if he has corrosive haze, that is dead. The fight is in your favor, or at the very worst, you force an additional buyback to come through from T1. So just little mistakes like that can snowball into something like losing Aegis and 2 cores.
You see, now it's going to give them an opportunity for the Terrorblade to be able to accumulate more farm. He's top of the net worth. He's working on the BKB, and he's pretty much got it completed now. So Dire are going to have a pretty big timing here where, I mean, Lesh is unfortunately a little bit behind his BKB, so they're not going to have this double duo timing with their cores. But you know, we'll see again, you know, they got the meta on cooldown, but they, after that fight, it gives them some opportunities to be able to shove out the lanes, and now they can definitely make plays after that.
I was kind of thinking, like, with T1, it was a bit of a... It was an interesting decision in my mind for Carl to TP up to that top tier 2 tower. Like, it ended up working out for them in the end because of, you know, like we were saying, the overextension. But I was kind of thinking that they were going to go bot, and well, they found out Zephyr. And that was a buyback as well, so 70 seconds guaranteed he's not going to be a factor.
They find Jackie here. And they also gonna see Whitemon up on the high ground eventually as well.
Oh no, Carl, not again.
Oh no, Leshrac. Yul sets up. Tim's got the arrow on point here, and that's just another pickoff. We've seen kind of a couple games today, and even yesterday, just some really important cores getting picked off in the lanes.
0, 6, and 2 on the Leshrac. You hate to see it.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
Meanwhile, Mel, he's loving life. 7, 1, and 9. You know, this is the ideal game for him. He's like, man, no one's hitting me. I love this.
And we get an arcane rune as well, just even better.
He can continue going into this glass cannon build as well. You can see he's got the Octarine core queued up because there's no threat towards him. He's just able to sit back and continue to do damage. The rest of his team's doing the soaking, doing the sustain. He's loving life.
You just see, I mean, Cuckoo's going for a blink as the next item. They got the Puck blink as well, so at least it's going to give them a little bit better of an opportunity to be able to find this Zeus on top of the backline. But as soon as you do that, you're just going to see the Phoenix dropping Supernova, and Dire don't have the greatest way to be able to deal with that egg ulti at the moment. Phoenix just hitting the level 12, which is incredibly important with the extra hits to destroy. So, I mean, it's pretty much just mainly on the Terrorblade really to do so. Back, actually, they're going to be able to find KP. Just the ward being able to jump forward and find the Puck who's trying to shove out that lane. But man, KP with this blink has got so much done this game.
And that's the strength of the global strat as well, that when KP makes these aggressive rotations, you can just join in with a simple Nimbus Thunder Gods. He popped the Arcane Rune beforehand as well, so at the very least they're going to have the Nimbus up when T1 are trying to take the next encounter.
Looks like they're even thinking about potentially getting set up to try and defend bot as well. For the line, seeing if they want to try and contest this with Tim's already TPing down. And you see how enabled they are as well to be able to make these plays with that Moonlight Shadow. Just a big factor of the Mirana, increasing this kind of, you know, wrap potential and just the constant, you know, gank train that they can have coming through. And it's really helped out with being able to find multiple pickoffs so far.
Out of my way!
I'm liking, well, I think it's kind of, again, a case of necessity coming through from Cuckoo. He's blicked up the Blink Dagger. Oh, they've actually found a DD rune as well for the bottom side. Carl ended up grabbing it instead of the TB, but that's fine. Going into the Blink Dagger, it's clear. The mission is kill this Zeus. That is priority number 1 for T1. But if you blink into the wrong position, you're just dead meat. They've got so much damage that they're able to output onto you, and percentage-based as well with the static field, with the Sunray. It's looking pretty rough for T1. Like there is very low likelihood in my eyes of them coming back into this one.
Yeah, even though they're only down 4,000 gold, it's just... Oh, Zephyr? Where's KP? Yeah, even though they're down just... It's a short amount of gold, but it just feels like it's a lot larger than what it's really showing in the graphs at the moment. You're not going to see Radiant smoke up. Who can they catch out? Dire have got some nice vision around Bop, and able to blink forward, phase shift. Oh, actually, Zephyr, never mind, he jaunts away. Perfect timing. They still have the vision to be able to follow up. They drop the Nimbus, so it gets the orb away. KP is going to pop the BKB. Really wants this kill. That's his 10-second duration there, and I mean, Puck going to just be able to dip out of here. They still got the vision, thanks to the minus armor coming through from KP. They're diving very deep, KP. Got to be careful with the rotations, but he doesn't care right now. There's just, I mean, no other heroes were coming. The Lesh didn't have the BKB just yet. You know, Chaos Knight farming up the jungle as well. It looks like T1 really want to try and get the BKB on the Lesh and then think about fighting.
Can you blame him for diving that deep when that sort of stuff happens? You've got a level 20 as well, by the way, on the Zeus. So he's got the mini stun, 5 gold away from the Octarine core. So that's going to be out onto him as well. So I would think maybe they'll wait for the Thunder God's Wrath to be up again, maybe finishing up the neutral item drops for themselves. Oh, what's Zeus carrying at the moment? Okay, well, the Nether Shawl's pretty damn good. I was thinking maybe he's going to go the Quickening Charm. I think he is actually. Maybe give the Nether Shawl over to the Phoenix.
Yeah, the Quickening's coming over. And I mean, with the Octarine now, whew, it's going to be a lot of cooldown reduction. I mean, Roche going to be up in a minute here. And this is just another item for the Spectre with the Guardian now complete. I mean, Terrorblade is doing very well in the farm. You know, this is a hero that's able to kind of shove out the lanes with ease thanks to the illusions, being able to farm multiple waves and camps at once. You see that Dire trying to get set up on the high ground, where they have their only ward at the moment. They need to try and control the triangle. And we might see them move eventually to try and get on the other side near Roshan, because this is going to be this next objective that's coming up pretty shortly here.
Not too often you see a Zeus queue up a BKB either, but at this stage of the game, he's got all the damage that they need. Like 29 minutes, 18 kill involvements out of 20. He's got his Octarine and his Ag Scepter. He just needs to
Radiant's
live.
middle tower is under attack.
Right, running up the high ground. Smoke's going to end up popping there. See, it looks like Dire, they're going to be able to control up the enemy's triangle camp at the moment. Roshan's going to be up in 10 seconds. Who gets the vision? They're going to blink forward. They found Carl, who's got the BKB, but it's not even going to come through in the meantime. And now TNC, they want to hunt for more with the Horn. It's going to provide the vision. Whitemon stuck out in the river, but looks like off to the western side. Spectre, he wants the Terrorblade hunting through the tree line. Jackie, he doesn't have a TP as well for another 10 seconds here. So Qian, can he find the vision? Even KP wrapping over as well. They find the stump, but where's the rest of the team? Got to keep in mind, this Terrorblade, he's got this BKB and Metamorphosis and the Sunder, but it looks like it's just going to be too difficult with the arrow finds a connection thanks to the bash. And Dire, they lose 3 and they don't find anything.
I'd be pretty damn close to calling it if I was on T1's side right now. Like, it just seems like there's so few opportunities for them to come back into this game. Even before all of that, I think they had a 12% win probability, and when it updates, it's going to swing into the single digits. And now Spectre's most likely going to have this Aegis coming through for him. So 2 lives for him, he can play even more ballsy than before.
Roshan has fallen free.
Aegis, oh my god, he got the
Ooh,
cheese. It was so close. I'm like, you're going to pick it up, but he was just baiting. He was just baiting. Wanted an extra kill, knew he was going to have the quicker fingers once the puck blinked forward.
Regeneration.
And this is, I mean, now this is the second Aegis, so Qian's going to pick that one up. You got the cheese to give her to the Zeus. And this is a game that's looking like it's in full control for TNC, as they're going to try and even up the best of 2 here. I mean, they have such a gigantic experience lead, and I mean, the probability as well is looking very far in their favor at the moment. It's going to be difficult for the Dire side to come back. We haven't really seen them fight with their BKBs. They're still on 10 seconds for both the Terrorblade and the Leshrac, so they might try and hold a high ground here where they have a ward advantage and maybe look to kind of blow them out of the water, but they're actually going to smoke up.
I think Armel, they need to go for Armel. He should be the main target. There we go. The pings come out immediately as soon as he's revealed, and for once, he's going to be out of position. Oh no, he gets away just in time. The benefit of that blink dagger that he
now
just
in the river.
purchased up.
Well, they find the puck, and now with the Thunder Gods, they get extra vision as well. One
KP's
revealed up.
hunting.
Jackie's in the area. Puck can buy it back, but they don't have the outpost control. Qian on the high gun's going to try and deal with the Tombstone. So Rick will delay it. And with Phantasm coming out as well, you got to be careful because Spectre's stuck up here at the moment. They're going to try and get the Haunted drawn down. Ultimate's going to cast it out here from the Supernova, but can they actually deal with the car's going to move forward with the BKB, but the damage, where's it coming through at the moment? Supernova's going to end up popping. Spectre is trying to go to work on top of the back here, but KP's falling incredibly low. Pops the cheese, meanwhile Xian as well. Tombstone's still going to work here. They haven't dealt with it so far, but it's not going to matter. It's T1, they lose 3. Finally, the BKB is going to get popped. Jackie's going to try and turn. He's got the Sunder to be able to utilize. He gets it off, but it looks like Xian doesn't matter. He's still got this extra life, and Jackie, the last survivor. The damage, unfortunately, just not there as TNC. They don't lose anyone. They don't even lose the Ages as well.
That was a full duration Tombstone, by the way. It just expired. No one killed it. But, you know, even with that, it's an undying boss fight Tombstone, right? You need your Leshrac to live for a lot longer. Cuckoo, it just doesn't feel like the Chaos Knight has had the impact that they quite need. And, yeah, I mean, like we were saying during the draft, it felt like they were baiting out this Zeus pick by being like, hey, illusions, good things to deal with magic damage if you could just, you know, sit back and cast, but they never were able to get it onto the backlines, and Armel, he's had a fantastic game, punishing them every step of the way.
Yeah, and this is the big thing that we were questioning is if they're going to be able to find the Zeus. I mean, you've got the blink on the Chaos Knight, the blink on the Puck, but you know, Puck hasn't really been able to find the coil with like the follow-up damage from the Terrorblade, and Cuckoo blinks forward with counter from KP. He's going to be able to find the Chaos Knight, and just the damage on top of the back. Armel's even got an Arcane Rune as well, so just too much for T1 to be able to deal with. They don't have buybacks at the moment, and Xian still with that extra life. I mean, there's some towers down bot, so they won't be able to get at least that Rax, and you see at the moment with they push okay, it's not the fastest pushing lineup, but at least with multiple heroes down from Dire, it's going to make it a lot easier as they get a full set of Rax mid. They're going to try and claim some more objectives at the top side of the map.
Yeah, they'll be fine. Oh, they've even caught out Zephyr again. He's inside the Nimbus too.
Just the arrows from Tim's, another blink forward straight on top of the Undying. I mean, Jackie doesn't have the meta, and it looks like just the heroes getting picked off before the Terrorblade feels comfortable with maybe even fighting, and you know, I think they probably just, well, they're gonna have to give this up. Maybe they probably play a little bit more passive and wait till that Metamorphosis is back up, but just the punishment that TNC have right now with their jump, you drop the Nimbus, you know, KP hunting, Tim's has been setting up, he's got to blink yours, so just easy to get the arrow, and TNC, they're looking really good right now.
Man, 31 out of 33 kills Zeus has been a part of. Of course, as a Zeus, it's like, okay, sure, it's pretty normal, but still very impressive the fact that he's been able to do that as well as dodge out all of this aggression that's been coming through. Even at that one point where it felt like maybe they're going to be able to catch him out, get this big kill streak in onto one of their cores, he blinks away, TP's just in time to be able to avoid that sort of fate.
Invisibility.
Radiant, they still got the Aegis for another 18 seconds here, but looks like Dire trying to play towards the top side instead, and bot. I mean, Cuckoo did get a very good job of shoving out this lane. So I mean, they can still take the tier 1 tower. Looks like Radiant just wanting to try and posture with the bounty objectives.
Yeah, they can just backdoor it. I think we've got an Ags coming out to the Slardar. We've got an Ags coming out to the Mirana. They're having a great time. And you can take the player out of the pub, but you can't take the pub out of the player. Screw the BKB, I've gone a refresher orb, says the Zeus.
Cuckoo? They do get the vision though. Xian, he's going to be able to have a cancel with the Abyssal Blade. He doesn't even need a pop, but he just gets a nice little bash there. And they even see where the rest of T1 are playing at the moment, so it looks like Tim's going to try and come forward. They've even got KP in the mid lane as well. If Tim's, I mean, there's no detection at the moment with the sentry drop, so they're just running into Carl with the heals, but now sets up for the rotations. Nice timing with the arrow. Carl just pays the price. We haven't felt the impact with the Lesh so far, and KP even finds another. Whitemon's going to get caught out. I mean, this has just been a game where it's just, you know, they're continuing to stay in it, even though it's 25,000 net worth lead, but it's just getting even more difficult for them to really feel like there's a comeback potential here.
I would disagree with that. I think that they were out of it about 10 minutes ago. Yeah. But even if it was that case, it is now... I would have said before it was like a 99% win probability. Just from my perspective, it's now 100%. KP's got his Ag Scepter, he's got that extra 12 armor, he's got the status resistance, so he can actually stand in on the front lines against this TB man fight. He could probably honestly solo kill him at this point.
Armel, can he get in range for the bolt? This is effort. Where Dire are literally just trying to split push out the map. They're just hoping whatever they can do, unfortunately. They got the vision on the puck, so... Okay, they're going to get rid of it thanks to the help of the Chaos Knight. Looks like still, I mean, he's in absolute no man's land. Let's just see how much space he can kind of make. Well, that bash is going to be his demise. And meanwhile, mid lane, Tim's point blank arrow is going to find Cuckoo, who doesn't have any help as well. And this Chaos Knight's just going to get chased down. They got the dagger for the slow, and Armel with the follow-up. I mean, the Zeus godlike spree. He's just had such an incredible game where Dire haven't been able to get on top of him. And now even the Terrorblade as well could be their next target here.
Oh no, they're gonna find him as well. They're just hanging around. They see Febby clipping him with the edge of that observer ward, and you can see they just bail straight away.
Under attack.
Yeah, it puts so much
Dire's
pressure on
bottom
Zephyr to
tower
make
has
all of this
fallen.
work happen. Like if you double click on his portrait, he is dead in front of the Radiant Fountain right now. Like that is how much space he was trying to create. Because Undying can't do it at all, and we've seen with Cuckoo, you're just a single, like you're a right clicker. You don't have any serious lane pushing potential. Whenever Carl's tried to do it, he just dies.
Yeah, I mean, 10 deaths is 0, 10, and 2. This has been quite the rough game, and
He's probably about to die again.
he's just gonna die again. You can't show like that. Yeah, I mean, it has to be someone like the Puck or the Chaos Knight trying to deal with it with the illusions. And now
can you
Chion's
do?
also
Oh,
going to be able
look.
to find the Terrorblade.
They're hunting.
Now the
KP's
Abyssal
coming.
Blade is going to try and drop the BKB in turn with the Sunder, but KP on top of the back. They got the bash and die. They're not in range to really protect the Terrorblade at the moment. Still BKB lasting a little bit longer just with the duration, but they're going to be able to chase him down now inside the base. Tims goes forward. They don't have buybacks on the two cores. There's no opportunity for T1 to be able to turn it on the high ground, and finally they're going to call it quits, as we'll have a tied series here between TNC and T1 for our first series of the day.
TNC Predator.
Dominant. As dominant as T1 were in that first game. You know, it just felt like with the Arc Warden in game 1, they were able to execute exactly the strategy that they wanted. This time around, it felt really, like we were saying before, like they were baiting out that Zeus pick. And, you know, from the outside looking in, you're like, wow, Zeus deals with all these heroes really well. I felt like they should have done much more rotating with the Undying, Leshrac, and Chaos Knight together to try and make sure he doesn't have as good of an early game as he did. Because once you get that net worth lead and you get, you know, I think it was like a 14-minute Ags or something crazy like that, it's next to impossible when you've also get this Spectre to be able to enable that kind of global strat.
Yeah, just the pickup potential that they're able to find with this one, unfortunately, just didn't feel like there was too much of a game for the Lesh, just constantly getting caught out with shoving up the lanes. And I feel like TNT were okay with kind of stalling out the early game, because Spectre, the laning stage was a little bit lackluster. You know, Zeus were trying to get the Agnums, and it literally just turns like that. TNC kind of just with that vision advantage that they have, you know, the Zeus, the Slaughter, Spectre can haunt to find the back, and really just enabled them in these fights to be able to get the proper target and then to be able to transition from there.
Mm-hmm. Damn right. Very impressive indeed by TNC. So both of these teams are now 3-1 in game score for the league. So sitting pretty comfortably in the top half. I don't think either of them would be overly stressed about it all, but you know, I'm sure they would have really enjoyed to get the decisive victory against each other. Not going to be the case though. But we've got the other two teams that these two matched up against in day number 1, Motivate Trust and Fnatic coming up next. And at the moment, both of them are sitting at 0 and 2. So one of them is guaranteed to get at least one win on the board.
Yeah, and these are two teams we're excited to see how they're going to continue with, you know, some of the difference with the roster. I mean, now it's going to be, you know, Masteros against his old team. So let's see how he's going to be able to fare against Motivate. But take a short break, ladies and gentlemen. Going to be about 10 minutes until our second series. You don't want to miss it. Fnatic versus Motivate up next.